One of the things that I've noticed with the number of people who have notified me, I'm sure you've gotten phone calls and people I haven't talked to for a long time. It's been it's been lovely. But I know in the email particularly, a lot of the concerns dealt with the aesthetics of how wonderful a library would be on this corner or that corner, and I just trust that the architects are going to make us a beautiful building and surroundings, and we can indeed plant trees any place we land. And so those are, those were a lot of the concerns. And listening today, I think, my fervor for one side or the other has kind of tempered. I'm going to be thrilled wherever we site this library. The Emerald Knight site has been from the very beginning my choice. One of the things that I have been concerned about, being out here and watching us go from the little storefront and the tiny, tiny computer lab upstairs, and knowing that when the FEMA office was opened here, they had a couple of computers for those couple of thousand people who needed a computer, that when catastrophe occurs, I want to make sure that we do not disenfranchise a significant part of our population. If it's a mandatory evacuation, God forbid, from the downtown area, my concern is that there are people who are able to contact family and concerned friends because of a public library. And I assume the Gazette area is dry, and I assume that would not necessarily be part of such a catastrophic situation, but one never knows. I think that's a very important consideration. I love the idea that on the busiest main street in the state of Iowa, which is First Avenue as I understand it, everybody's going to be would be passing a public library. And I must say, the emails that I got, not the phone calls, because the people who called me knew me, but the emails I got were from people who had a vested interest in the downtown, and surely I do too. But I'm not sure that the average Joe in Cedar Rapids has to have this library on Green Square. Bordering it. I think that they would be equally as happy having it where the Emerald Knights site is. The ease of getting in and out of there, I think is easy. And as things progress in Cedar Rapids, I think that will become more and more part of downtown with the hospitals and the things they're doing. And for those reasons, and others, I made my notes too, but I'm not going to continue. But for those reasons, my first choice is the Emerald Knights.
Okay, let's go. Paul, you want to go?
I want to go?
Yep.
No, I was trying to wait till last,
Oh,
actually. Because I was
go ahead.
save my voice for as long as I could. Try and project as much as I can here. People have, most of the people that have come to me have said, and have talked to, and I've experienced the same thing all of you have with unsolicited emails and whatnot, is that why don't we go back to the old libraries? Why don't we just go back there? And I understand that, because that certainly was the way I felt, but it's an untenable position. FEMA's just told us it's an untenable position, and you can't do it. And I guess I'm too cheap to want to throw away all that money. So focusing on what is less expensive, and we could say that, well, we really shouldn't look at the costs, but hey, you know what? We really should look at the costs. We have to look at the costs. And aesthetics mean nothing if there's not enough inside the library, and there's not enough things that could be placed for the extra money that we would be dispensing in building it, even if it's just a couple $100,000. So I picked the Emerald Knight site, and I think that even though Susan and I agree with you that we need to focus on trying to have a multi-level parking there for safety, you don't have to do that. we can put a surface parking go across the street, that could be done. So we could save even more money there. So that's where I'm at. Please.
I,
Oh, sure. Hold back the water from me now, Bob.